This is Bob Sansevere here with Vikings beat reporter Rick Alonzo and Pioneer Press deputy sports editor John Plume. Let's get right to it. We'll talk a little Vikings here, and that name keeps coming up. Brett Favre doesn't seem that the story is not going away. I don't think it's going away until training camp when he actually does show up. But Rick, Charlie Walters had yesterday that Favre was going to meet with Dr. Andrews, the orthopedic surgeon, about that, the torn biceps injury that he's got. ESPN's reporting something completely different. First of all, I believe shooter. It's not really isolated that there's different versions of what's going on with Favre. Why is there so much misinformation from different outlets?
Well, I think the sources are coming from various angles on this situation. The agent is putting some information out there, and I think Favre himself might be responsible for some stuff once in a while. I think at the end of the day, I think Favre will be a Viking. I can't tell you when that will happen. I can't tell you when he will.
Show up a day before training camp. John, what do you think about him showing up, if he does show up just before camp, the way I think it'll happen?
The guy's played in the league 19 years. He's run the same offense as the Vikings have run, for the majority of his career. I don't think there's any doubt the guy comes in, he starts on the first day of training camp.
What do they do with the guy who loses the number 2 spot, who's not the backup quarterback, who's the third quarterback?
You don't really want 3 veteran quarterbacks on this team. If you sign Favre, you've got to let go of Sage or Tavares. And let's face it, Tavares or Sage is not going to be happy about Favre coming in here.
The situation's better for Jackson anyway if they release him. There are going to be teams that are interested in an athletic quarterback who runs a 4.5, 4.6, can get out of the pocket, move around, and throw a 6 or 7 yard pass, because there's not a lot of good quarterbacks who can do that right now. I agree with you, Bob. I think this was the plan all along, was to get Favre in here to be the starter. Rosenfels was going to be the backup, and Booty was going to be the third string. Sage Rosenfels is going nowhere. They didn't give up a 4th round draft pick to get him in here and then move him.
Speaking of predictions, I'll give you a record. 11-5, they get a first round bye, and then that won't go any farther than that.
I think they won 10 games without him. They'll win 12 games with him. They'll win a playoff game, and they'll lose in the NFC Championship on the road.
Monster year by Adrian Peterson. Once he shows up, it'll be all sunshine and lollipops. They'll be hugging each other. Rick, John, thank you. This is Bob Sansevere. I got a feeling we'll be talking Favre a week or so from now, too.